I'm feeding chickens here at the Last Organic Outpost Urban Farm here in Houston, Texas, East Houston. You want to know why? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're out here in the field rolling out the recycling carts so you can recycle curbside. Hi, and welcome to Wasting No Time on HTV. I'm your host, Sharon Moses. We're on location today and we're talking about urban gardening and composting. Now, urban gardening is the new wave of the food processing for the future. It's just planting all around in an urban environment, while composting is simply nature's way of recycling. Here to tell us more about this process is Farmer Joe. We're here on his set today. Thank you for having us here, Farmer Joe.
Wonderful being here.
So you call this place the Last Organic Outpost. Did I say that right?
The Last Organic Outpost is the name of the nonprofit.
Okay.
And this is the Mill Street Community Educational Farm.
Okay. So tell me, how did this get its start?
Well, I've been working on urban farming the last 16, 17 years in Houston's inner city, primarily in the 5th Ward and then a little project over in the 3rd Ward. But the nonprofit's been around since 2003, and we're basically a project-based organization that works on farming efforts. So what the Last Organic Outpost project here, the Emil project, is a food security plan for 5th Ward community.
Now, am I right to call this an urban garden, or should I call this an urban farm?
I'm not a gardener, I'm a farmer.
So it would be an urban farming project.
Yeah, make us proud, call us farmers.
Call us farmers. So here's the thing, tell me about, this is a beautiful, beautiful location. And I remember when I first came to this location, it was winter, it wasn't a lot of greenery, you couldn't really tell what was growing. But here you are in, I would call it the heart of the city of East Houston, over here in 5th Ward, Texas. And we've got a farm in the middle of a neighborhood. Tell us about that, and what was your vision, and how it started and where it's going from here?
Well, I was working lots and lots of hours. I was a pipe fitter out of 211. I retired 2 years ago in December. And what happened is I was working and working and working, but life's such a short ride, and who wants to just live here, work, and then pass away and never have done anything? So what happened is the last 16, 17 years I've been working on an effort, and it seemed to me that the best thing I could possibly do is get involved with land stewardship. So I started a little garden back at Japhet Creek in 2000, and then by 2003 there was a lot of people coming out. My thinking is don't talk about it, work on it, build it, and they'll come, and that's what happened. And what it's done over the years, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And more people have been involved. Everything you're seeing here is not really been driven by money, it's been driven by people's interest. So I call it the Urban Pioneer Collective, and it's these innovators in Houston that are just demonstrating some real sources to sustainability, community sustainability.
Is it okay to say that it is a community farm?
It is a community farm. What we're doing is we're building resources for the 5th Ward community. But here's the deal: is we can only do so much, but we're creating an opportunity for people to do so much more.
Did you meet any opposition, is the word I'm looking for, any opposition from the community?
Well, when I was over at Japhet Creek, I was working over there for 5 years, and what I did is I built a relationship. So people came over there and worked with me from the neighborhood, and I had a guy tell me a long time ago, I said, well, why does people not take anything? And he said, because we like what you're doing. Okay. And so what it is this has always been a resource for the community, so if people wanted food, they could come over here and get it. But what we really want to do is encourage people to help us, because if we work together, we create the dynamic so that we're trading and bartering, or however it works. Then what it does is it grows. But if people take, then it just doesn't work.
So do you get many volunteers from the community? People coming in to help and to learn more about the farming?
Yeah, it's I can tell you, I've done farming in communities, in several communities, and it's never the people in the neighborhood that really gravitate to it. It's people that have an affinity for farming. So what's happened recently is some of the students from Wheatley High Schools are from regions of Africa, Tanzania and Liberia, and they brought their mothers over here, so they're over here working right now on some projects.
Okay.
So the real estate out here is getting kind of international with the kind of crops that they're introducing.
What is the benefit of having an urban farm in the community?
You know, we got so many bells and whistles out here. We got aquaponics, we've got bee rescue that Michael's doing, we've got hens we're raising. This is a Disneyland of sustainability. I mean, this could grow into something that could have the capacity to bring this earth science into neighborhoods where communities that are lacking in resources develop the skill sets to build those resources through this stewardship, through this teaching.
Did you say you're saving bees here? You know, been having trouble with bees lately.
Well, that's what Michael's doing. He's doing bee rescue. Okay. So if you get stung, just consider it to be to build your immunities up, the BCs that you need some.
This is very interesting. I'm very happy to be out here in the field at this location. Farmer Joe, I have to ask, it costs money to get something of this level and this magnitude. How are you funded, if you don't mind me asking?
You know, I can tell you, I could have bought a house, but I could have been 3 or 4 friends, or I could have invested in a community like the Fifth Ward, which is a fantastic community. Where else could we do this? And got thousands of friends. So my deal is invest in the community. And what's happening is we've got in-kind donations from Coronet and Lowe's, and I can tell you they've been out here 2 years in a row, and they're just, you know, if someone gives you something and they come back a year later and it's 500 times bigger than what it was when you were over here.
They can see it's a good investment.
Yeah, exactly. And what we're hoping to do is foster this throughout this community. I mean, we're working some great stuff. An agriculture district, an ag valuation. We're urban pioneers, man. We're innovators, and what we're doing is hosting opportunity for other people to be innovators as well.
So you take donations.
We will take donations.
Take me around and show me this beautiful place, and we're going to get to show the public.
Absolutely, and what we have is a website, LastOrganicOutpost.com, if people are willing to make a donation or come out here and participate. The best donation you could do is come out here and see what we're doing.
We'll make sure we get that posted. We'll be right back, and we're going to come back and walk around this beautiful, beautiful urban farm. Did you know over 2 million urban farms exist around the world, and that they supply food to 1/4 of the world's urban population? Hi, and welcome back to Wasting No Time on HTV. We're out here on location in East Houston. We're out here with Farmer Joe, and Farmer Joe is getting ready to walk us around this beautiful urban farm and show us the importance of farming and tell us about all of the different products and items, I guess, that he's raising out here. It's not just planting and seeding, but he's got fish, he's got chicken. Oh my God, I'm too excited. Let's get started. You ready, Farmer Joe?
Absolutely.
So what is this area?
Is breakfast.
Oh,
it's
wow.
the thin nutrient film strawberries, and what they're doing is we're using fish water, the water from the pond, to create the best tasting Fifth Ward strawberry in the city.
This is absolutely delicious.
Absolutely, and what this is, Ryan Niles is he's a chemical engineer, and he has a hobby in aquaculture, and he's come out here in the last year and really finish this project. So what we have is an 11,000 gallon fish tank. We've got a clarifier, we've got a water catchment system, a biological filter. We got every type of aquaponics out here demonstrating how communities can build resources.
So let me just ask you something now. I'm not going to litter, but this is an urban farm. And
throw it in the fish tank.
Where can I put it? Anywhere?
We're composting. We're giving it to the fish. The fish waste will be used for the absolute excellent strawberries.
I'm going to take my last little bite of this strawberry. There's still something left.
Just make sure it goes into the pond.
All right, you ready, HTV? We're going to toss it over. We're not littering. We are composting.
That's right, right.
Woo!
All right, man.
Where do we go next? To the fish?
Well, where's Michael?
Let's go get it.
Yeah, let's go.
We're at the fish pond. You call it, what is it? What is the name of it?
What it is a loading dock that we turned into an 11,000 gallon fish tank. So what this is the hub of of the aquaponics. It's kind of center stage to everything we're doing out here. So what we're doing is, this is a loading dock. This is the deep end, and what we did is we put a liner in it, capped it, put a fence around it. But what we're doing is drawing basically the waste from the fish is we're capturing it, pumping it into a filter over here, a zeolite filter, and then occasionally back flushing it into a clarifier where we separate the solids from the liquid. And the solids are used for our compost tea, and the liquids are used, they're pushed back into a biological filter where the ammonia is turned into nitrates and nitrites.
Let me just reiterate something. You said, what is this made of?
This is a loading dock that we turned into 11,000 gallon fish tank.
Stop there. So you recycled, we need to get some key terms in here for solid waste department. You recycled an old loading dock and you turned it into a fish pond.
That's exactly what we did.
That is amazing.
And the zeolite filter is a sand filter we recycled. We recycled, actually we were concerned about water quality, so we bought the toad. But the hot tub, the biological filter, is all recycled too.
So Farmer Joe, you just saved these products from the landfill and you brought them here to this urban farm and you made them work.
We not only in infrastructure but in soil as well.
That is amazing. How many fish do you have in here?
We estimate about 300 tilapia, and then we have some koi. We have a turtle, and no telling what else the birds brought in.
I am too excited. Recycling is at its best in this urban farm. So where do we go next, Farmer Joe?
I just want to show you a water catchment, 4,500 gallon.
Okay.
And then what we have over here is the educational. It's a little bit of a mess, but what we're doing is we have classes out here monthly.
Okay.
And it's from aquaponics to vermiculture to composting, anything and everything. And we're back over in the corner. There's a spawning area for the tilapia, so we got the little fries. And I just want to say this is the education of how we would build resources for communities through this experience.
And that's why you call it the Urban Farm Educational and Mill Street Urban Farm.
It's built, really what we're doing is working off the leads of people that come in here and demonstrating great and wonderful things. And Cornet came out here with Jake Salzman, a landscape architect. They really put together the educational piece, so we attached education to the farm, the Emil farm.
Okay, and I'm in community outreach. Education is important to me, so you've talked about a very important thing, and this is your section over here for education. Here's what's amazing to me. We haven't even gotten to your plants yet. We haven't even gotten to the items that you're farming. We're just talking about the fish. Let's keep going. What's the next step?
You see them right here? The earthworms. They're the red wigglers. What they do is a pound of earthworms will create a pound of waste a day.
Okay.
They'll digest it, turn it into casting. So we have 3 products here. We have the earthworms, we have the earthworm castings, and we make the tea. This is a very expensive product that if you buy it in the stores, it's $1 a pound. It's for a 50-pound or 40-pound bag, it's probably $50.
Wow.
But here at the farm, it's a community resource. So we're basically making our own fertilizers here. And what we've done is engineered a whole strategy on how communities could build resources around this stewardship.
So we're over here. And now we're looking at the actual farming. We've talked about fish and chicken. You've even got horses, right? You're saving bees.
One of the neighbors has horses.
One of the neighbors has horses. Now we're talking about plants. And I want you to kind of show us and the viewers some of the things that you have. Tell me about this tree. You said it's really important.
It's a moringa tree. It's a superfood. Kind of give you an idea, a chef came over here, did a culinary arts program it was a competition between Wheatley and Barbara Jordan, and he said he was recovering from cancer and he was ordering moringa from India. It took about 3 months, and I said, we got it in the Fifth Ward. Wow. And I took him over here and showed him this tree.
So this is a superfood tree?
It is a superfood tree, and it grows really well here in the warm weather. Okay. And this winters have been so mild lately in Houston that this is just growing year round. Actually, the leaves drop during the winter. They come back, and what it is this right here. You can put it on your salads, or you can stir fry it, or you could take it, dehydrate it, and put it in a blender.
So it's called moringa.
My pronunciations. I'm a pipe fitter, so I learned English from being out in the trade. This tree. Yeah, it's delicious, man. I think it tastes like
just eat
wheatgrass.
Different, but I can do it.
I tell you what happens if you come by here and eat this often, then you're gonna go home and pet the dog and say hi to the family and cook them dinner and stuff like that.
Because it gives you feel better.
Yeah, clarity is a state of what you're eating.
Can I have one more?
You can take a bunch of it home and feed.
Let's go to the next one. All right, so Farmer Joe, we're out here with all of what you have planted. Tell me about some of the things that you have in the ground for the community.
Okay, what it is first of all, I'd like to say that this is production model, and so it's 30-inch beds with 12 to 16 inches between them. And what we have is cucumbers. Thanks to Cornette and Jake Salzman, everything's labeled: tomatoes, cucumbers. But we stationed in there as squashes and peppers all in there too, because we're just filling everything up. And I want to say too is this is a strategy using wood chips. We're composting material, diverting it for landfills. So this stuff is really it takes a while for it to really break down and become really rich soil. So what we're doing right now, first of all, it's holding water, and second of all, it can rain and rain and rain, and it's just a sponge out here. And it affects the coloring of the plants a little bit, but it doesn't, they'll come right back. And what you're seeing is the cucumbers are really starting to take off right now.
So what about, I know if I go to the grocery store and I try to purchase kale, it's like super expensive. Aren't you even growing kale out here?
We're growing dino kale. We've got quite a bit of it. And so what people can do is they can come out here and pick it. What we do is we're not really funded by anybody. It's literally a dynamics where we as a community participate with each other and build this economy. So people can come out here if they have some type of way of leaving a donation, and we have is a box where they can drop it off.
So they can drop off donations, or you said it's sweat equity. You can actually work.
Or come out here. We've got the church, the Christ Cathedral coming out here tomorrow. There are going to be some students, and what we do is we have programs out here where we can work with anybody and everybody. We're usually out here 6 days a week, and we do the farmers market on East End, farmers market at the Esplanade on Sunday from 10 to 2. Okay. But what we're doing is you can see we've got friends from Tanzania. We're introducing crops from friends from India, and we're just testing a whole bunch of ideas on how we can create an international farming effort.
Fantastic. What I want to do is next I want to go to that what used to be an illegal dump site and show HTV what you did and what can be done. Let's go.
Okay.
Did you know composting can suppress plant diseases, and it will usually eliminate the need for chemical fertilizers? Welcome back to Wasting No Time on HTV. Farmer Joe, I am really excited to be standing where we are right now. This is a community area for your gardens, right? For your farming area. Did you not tell me that this used to be a place where you would have to deal with illegal dumping all the time?
Yes. Back when we first started this was a huge dump site. It was probably almost a story and a half. And what happened is there was Mayor White came through here. We were able to get it through the Urban Garden Initiative. It's been purchased by the owner of this house, and he's letting us farm it right now. But what this is a community garden project, or we call it the community food bank. And what's happening, some of the families that live over in Kelly Courts from Tanzania came over here and asked. Their students from the Wheatley High School came over here and asked if they could come. Well, they came over here, saw the place, and then what happened is their mothers came over and asked if they could farm it. So what you're seeing is beans and corn and eggplant, all sorts of stuff that they brought that they eat from Africa. And I just think this is excellent because what we're creating is an opportunity for these families who know farming to come out here and farm resources for their community.
So this is amazing. If I'm living in this community, I can almost walk up and grab something from here. There's nothing that puts it behind bars or behind gates. It actually is community farming. And I think what's really great about it is if you own this type of land and people are just dumping on it, this might be something to consider to maybe donate it for farming use, right?
Absolutely. What we would do is we got the biological engine farm dirt over there, so we'd resource the material, build the mulch up, and bring it up to about 2.5, 3 feet. And so what that creates is sub base, it holds water, we don't have to use much water. And then it breaks down in no time at all, and then what we have is a fertile area. So we can create strategies where we can farm whole communities. And why have, it creates a beautification of the neighborhood. It creates when we're talking about composting, people could bring their food waste and we could lay it down and then cover it with the mulch and stuff. There's a million things we can do.
This is just absolutely beautiful. I see how you raised up the ground down there. And so you've made it where it's good fertile ground to grow things on.
Absolutely. This is very gorgeous soil, and look how beautiful everything looks. And here we had all that rain, and look, it's not even, some of the vegetables in there are yellow because of the water. It's too much. It was sitting in water too long, even though it's lifted pretty high, but over here it's just perfect.
This is wonderful. I want us to go and talk about your composting process, because that is really something we want to get out to the community as well. Anybody can compost, right?
Yes, and if you farm, you got to compost.
Wonderful. Let's stop here and let's go on the other side, and I want you to show me your compost piles. Can we do that?
All right, let's do it.
Let's go. All righty. So now we're here to my favorite part. We're going to talk about composting, and that's really important for the City of Houston and solid waste management, and how you help to keep things and material out of the landfill and help to make this beautiful land grow, which, by the way, I wanted you to come in. Ken Cremings, you are the owner of this beautiful project. Is that correct?
Yes, thank you very much.
And what made you decide to donate this to a urban farm?
What's not good about having your own food source?
Okay. And when did you get the brainchild? At what point did you say, I'm going to utilize this area for farming? I mean, it had to be something to maybe inspire the desire?
Well, when we got here, there were already wild onions growing, and people would come and harvest the wild onions.
Okay.
So there was already something here when I got here.
Okay. Ken, we want to thank you so much for what you're doing in the area of East Houston. We think it's a wonderful, beautiful thing. And we hope that more people will take maybe some insight from you and do some of the same things to allow their land to be utilized for the community. Farmer Joe, Isett, tell me about this beautiful composting land that we're actually standing on. Is that correct?
Yes, and what this is basically wood chips from a Centerpoint Tree Company.
Okay.
We're creating a sub base. Back over here is the biological engine. They're processing literally 60 tons of waste every week, diverted from the landfill's food waste. And then what's happening is they're with an aerated compost method. They're basically taking the apple, and then 2 months later they have the finished product. What we're doing over here is that project that Solid Waste Management did.
Tour to Houston, where they donated all of that beautiful composted material to you. What did you do with it?
Well, first of all, it was an exciting moment.
Okay.
So what I did is I took it over here, laid it down, and then covered it with soil. So in a matter of no time at all, it'll digest it, the soil digest it, turn it into some really great stuff.
Tell me what's in that compost pile. What type of material did you get from us?
Well, what it was looks like it was a run or something. It was a lot of bananas, a lot of oranges, just fruits.
Okay.
And what we did is we just took them and took all the bags and everything and just collected all the waste, just the waste, and then mixed it up with a little soil and then capped it. The thing in composting, you always want to cover everything, keep the flies and.
So you've got food waste in there, but no animal waste, no human waste, just food.
Yeah, what we don't want to do is we don't want any meats and no dairy. We just want food waste out here. Fruits and vegetables are the best.
And you've got wood chips on here. So Ken, did you just donate this land, or do you get your hands dirty?
Well, yeah, my hands are dirty right now, but I enjoy the fruits of the labors too, and the eggs and the squash, and it's good to eat food that you grow. It completes the cycle of the earth.
This is wonderful. So how does composting help the garden? I'm not a gardener, I'm not a farmer, city girl here, but help somebody like me understand how important it is to compost. Why are we recycling the earth?
Well, I can tell you right now, before we really started this composting, because if you drive in and you see the road right now, we're composting leaves from Centerpoint Tree Companies.
Okay.
So everything out here is composting, and it's all diverted from landfills. So what we're doing right now is 2 years ago, we were buying all this product from soil yards, and it was expensive. And now we're composting it all because we really, through the innovation, just kind of figured out how to process this and how to use it.
This is wonderful. Ken, again, thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for the invitation to even be here.
The plants need carbon to grow. They're carbon-based life forms. The breakdown of this waste,
Okay.
because there is no such thing as waste, it's just underutilized product.
Okay.
The breakdown of these limbs and this food becomes carbon, which feeds the plants.
Okay.
So they need constant nutrients, and when you give them all the right nutrients, they grow to magnificent sizes, and you get a high productivity.
And I've got to wrap this up, but one thing I want to say, you all do not use chemical fertilization. Is that correct?
No.
No chemicals. This is all
No
nature's thing.
pesticides, no herbicides, no chemicals.
If you look at that white stuff right there, that's Actomycetes. It's a basically a bacteria that lives
Okay.
between. It's a bridge between bacteria and fungi. We have a biological paradise out here, full of bacteria. Got probably 200,000 different types of fungi from all over Houston.
Wow.
This is a ecological, powerful place.
Okay, thank you both so much for the time and energy that you put into this local community urban farm. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for staying tuned in. As always, www.houstonsolidwaste.org, or follow us on Twitter at Houston Trash, and like us on Facebook at Houston Solid Waste. Good to see you. We'll see you next time. Keep recycling, keep composting, and keep using urban farms.